The Edmonton Oilers down 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals. The game's headed to overtime off a back-breaking last-second goal. Who you gonna call? Draisaitl. Leon is really putting in his ballot for a Conn Smythe trophy, scoring not his first, but his second overtime game winner in the Stanley Cup Finals this year. And to be fair, not quite as nice of a rip as the first one from Game 1, but the feeling's the same as he centers one to Corey Perry on the doorstep, but Mikkola. And I gotta say, every time I hear this man's name, I think of the Ricola lasagna, but Mikkola deflects the cross from Draisaitl and puts it into his own net through Bob's 5-hole, and that is game. The Oilers win, and we're all knotted up at 2s as this series now turns to a best-of-3, headed back to Edmonton. And of course, this game was no slouch, as was the case for Game 1 and 2 of this series. No, this one was a classic, and it started with a couple gut punches to Edmonton. 2 goals by Matty Tkachuk. The first one on the 2-man advantage. Right off the draw, he's holding it, then fires one past Skinner as the Cats go up 2-0. Then he doubles up, cleaning some garbage on another power play later in the first, making it 2-0. The Oilers had a very similar first period to Game 3. Very concerning. Careless, penalties, goals, not ideal. And then 40 seconds left in the frame, Edmonton already reeling. The Panthers pounce on them in the Oilers zone, stealing the puck behind the net, setting up for Hagee in the slot. He makes no mistake and makes it 3-0 as Florida connects on the classic combo. Body, body, head, and it looks like Edmonton is down for the count. But there is one wily old veteran on this team, and he goes by the name of Corey Perry. Actually, you know what? I feel like this Edmonton team, they've got a lot of leadership, a lot of Stanley Cup experience. Not just Perry, but it's why, for example, I like the Adam Henrique pickup. But anyway, 40-year-old Perry, he's only 7 years younger than Knobloch, by the way, he gives a moving speech to the boys that finally gets the juices flowing. Oh, they also pulled Stuart Little, but not really blame on him. I think it was more to shake the boys up and get some energy going in the room. You can't blame those goals on Skinner, although, man, there's times when you really just need magic from your goaltending in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's what Florida's got from Bobrovsky. It's what's kept the momentum from swinging the other way at times. I think in Game 3, for example, he had a couple of really good saves early on. But anyway, Calvin Pickard, ready and steady, comes out in the second and stabilizes the Oilers so they can start chipping away. First one on the board is Nuge as he gets one on the PP, rips it by Bob's head. His first goal in 7 games. I'm a big fan of Nuge. I've been waiting for him to make his presence known. Game 4 was easily his best all playoffs, which is good because I was concerned he was injured. Next on the docket is everyone's favorite RN, Darnell Nurse. He catches Bob going down early and rips a piss missile over his shoulder, and it's a goal so nice that it even surprises Nurse. His face right after tells you he's just as shocked as we are, but he brings the Oilers within 1. And at this point, you could tell the tides were turning, and just a couple minutes later, the comeback would be reality for Edmonton fans as Podkolzin finds the garbage out front, backhands the biscuit past Bob to tie things up, and boy, we're all square headed to the third. And of course, we've got the far-off, distant presence of Red Wing legend Stevie Y dipping his hands into this one, because if it wasn't for his big brain, Jake Wallman wouldn't have been dumped to the Sharks. That allowed Edmonton to get him for a first, and he scored the go-ahead goal in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So thanks, Steve. Thanks for always being great in Galaxy braining that one. And this one was a bomb. I love a big slapper from a D-man. You can blame me growing up in the same province as Al McInnes, but he blasted this one by Bob, who's probably happy he wasn't hit. But man, he was charging this thing up. Nice forecheck on the Oilers to even turn the puck over. But 7 minutes to go, the Oilers are ahead, but it felt like there might be some more drama in this one. And of course, it's a dark mirror of Game 2 as the Cats had to force another overtime. This time it's Sam Reinhart, 19 seconds left, as he's the first to beat Pickard and ties it up. So we're headed to OT, where you already know what happens. Leon Draisaitl out here setting the record for most OT goals and points in a single playoff run with 4 game winners and 1 cup of applesauce. This dude has been on another level when the game is on the line, and it's showing as the Oilers claw back and take an even series back to Edmonton, where, let it be known, I've been cheering for Edmonton here, but I think they're taking Game 5, and I do think it will go 7, but let's see if Edmonton can do do it. Both of these teams, Edmonton and Florida, can take a hit so well. So we've got a brand new series. And this one has been an all-timer, a rematch, of course, of last year's. Both teams somehow got better. Shame on you, rest of NHL. But I mean, this is one of those series where, at least as a neutral fan, you got to sit back and enjoy it. It's not every year that we get a bloodbath like this. But yeah, who is coming out of this and who is getting the start in net for Edmonton? You know, me personally, I would play Pickard. I think you got to ride the hot hand, and he's been so solid, but Nobbs likes to play his guys. So don't be surprised if we see Skinner out on Saturday. Again, I think he's been fine as well, but it seems like the Oilers play better in front of Pickard. Let us know your thoughts below.